This is me, and I'm talking about stuff to do with data. So, just to give you a brief introduction about who I am and why I'm stood here talking to you today. I'm Dave Archer. I'm Chief Global Technology and Data Officer over at Apex. Apex Group are a between 3 and 5 trillion asset management business all over the world. We've got 13,000 employees. We've got a legacy deck and legacy platform. Same as everyone else, we've got big ideas and certainly big ambitions from a value proposition out there in the world around how we do hedge management and how we do wealth management and how we interact with funds and banks. We own 7 banks across the world and we have a very large infrastructure. A bit about me. So I've been in the industry now for, I feel old looking at that number actually, 27 years, almost 30 years now. Prior roles include head of risk at HSBC and Lloyds, partner at KPMG, leading their transformation arm. Worked with some pretty big businesses out there in the UK and around the world. Fundamentally, really focusing on financial services. The bits on the right-hand side here is really the core strengths that I kind of tend to work within. So mergers and acquisitions, carve-outs, buyouts, finance turnarounds, business turnarounds, technology turnarounds. All those kind of good things that we know and love, both BAU and from a transformation perspective. In terms of some of the businesses I've worked with, turnaround, transformed, again, it makes me feel very old looking at that list. But yeah, some of those businesses certainly have different progression, different value streams, different elements of what is important to them in terms of business drivers, in terms of market share, in terms of tech stack, in terms of where they want to be in the next 5 to 6 years. They've all got different paths. And it's true to say that every organisation is different. There is no one all size fits all to any kind of business, whether it be the government. When I was leading their transformation arm over there, in terms of DVLA and in terms of the COVID responses, all the way through to cost building site turnaround and transformation from a finance perspective, implementing Workday as a Workday partner. So what I wanted to briefly talk about today and what the plan is here is to talk about some things to do with business value realisation. And I'm going to be talking for about 10 minutes and then I'm going to open up to conversation. Anyone's got any questions, and please just shout out. This is much more of a working session than me wanting to talk to you for 10 minutes straight. There's 7 words on that slide that I've always lived and died by in this organisation. Business value realisation starts at the end. With any organisation, with any transformation, with any tech stack redeployment, with anything that we do from a BAU perspective and from a transformation perspective, we have to start at the end. I know that sounds stupid, but we have to realise the value that we want to embed into that organisation and understand what we're trying to achieve. This isn't supposed to be kind of the agile methodology or waterfall methodology of value-driven kind of turnaround, but certainly if you have the end in mind in terms of a 5-year strategy, whether it be IPO, whether it be get from a FTSE 200 to FTSE 100 business, whether it be to grow, whether it be organically or via acquisition, you have to understand and have to realise the potential we have within your own stack, whether it be from a technology perspective or the external market influences and forces that are going to play against you in a lot of cases. And there are plenty that will play against it. In terms of what everyone always drives to be, talking about the end is always there in terms of desired business value. Now that's a theoretical business kind of ideology that desired business value in this method could either be BIP on a P&L, it could be profitability, it could be market share, it could be growth, it could be more shiny new kit that's out there in the market, it could be AI, it could be all sorts of things, very much based on product delivered focal points, very much based on where the organisation wants to be. It can fluctuate massively depending on where you sit within an organisation. If I was a CTDO within that, it's all going to be about data flow, AI, governance, all those kind of things. From CIO, it's going to be a different value stream. If I was a CFO, it's all going to be about profitability, compliance, regulatory compliance. The key thing from a technology perspective is those things that underpin it, whether it be the ideology of driving new tech debt or reducing tech debt to get cost rationalisation, whether it be building automated guardrails so we can prove to regulators that we can do these things in a better way, or whether it's just straight, proper agile transformation, process redevelopment, process optimization to drive cost efficiency. That all gets us to a business outcome. The problem is, and the problem with most businesses, is we've got that over there to deal with, the elephant in the room, as always with BAE. If you're a startup, then that blue diagram is perfect. When we create from new, that's great. The problem is with any organisation, there's always some element of legacy, whether it be a platform, whether it be microservices, whether it be people, manual processes, Excel warriors constantly on email, trying to get a new Excel spreadsheet through on email. All these different aspects that play against us. The trick, and certainly the trick that I've found over the years, is enhancing and realising actually that thing on the right-hand side is a good thing in most cases. But it's all about the bit in the middle, about how you can bring through the manual process, the automated guardrails that aren't theoretically there or fragmented across the landscape, and how we flick the existing tech debt, which is big in a lot of states, and how we shrink that, how we rationalise that out. In terms of the bit that underpins all of that, and it's a big thing, and it's always the hardest thing to deal with through any transformation, through any BAU process, through any business, is people and culture. People can be difficult. People have got an opinion. Everyone likes to tell me their opinion on a daily basis. As a technology professional, sometimes you have to hear that opinion to be able to derive the value. Sometimes it's a good thing because people sometimes actually are right, and we need those people engaged and informed and take them along on the journey with us. But to get from the blue to the green or the green to the blue is very much dependent on people. So taking these people through on that journey, having a culture of acceptance to bring it through, will then build out that new tech debt platform that then will derive the value. And the derived value, whatever that value is that we see as a work stream, is always the most important thing with any business. So the derived value, it can expand, it can contract, based on where we are in the organisation, based on the roadmap, based on the deployment methodology, based on if you're in the middle of a transformation program, if you're buying new platforms and deploying new platforms in there, whether it be through data governance or internet security or whatever it is, there's always this critical point of these programs and BAU life where your value shrinks or contracts based on where you are within that journey. The expansion is very much based on how we adopt and that throughput of that workflow. Where we can then expand that derived value, or the value that comes from that, is very much based on that transformation journey to come through. So it's all about having that goal very visible at the first end, and then working through. The most common, I say the most common, if this was a workshop and we had whiteboards all around the wall, I'm sure we could think about another 100 of those on the left-hand side that are going to influence us. But market forces, competition, in terms of the fluctuating competing profiles and characteristics that run through the business that impact that output of gain value through a transformation program or through a technical deployment or through BAU are always going to be there. And based on where we are within that time frame, that categorization of that deployment is going to change. At the moment, certainly political and social forces are influencing things like interest rates. That has an impact if you're on a volatile or variable licensing agreement on technology. There's aspects that we're moving to now, certainly from a tokenized basis of volume-based data flow, that will help on things like that. I always think about technology from a leadership perspective as that steady eddy all the way through the cycle. So that straight line that goes through the business. The rest of these are the chaos around the technology platform. The bits that will always be volatile, that will always be variable as we move through. Having that complete roadmap of technology as an output, as desired outcome, desired value of the back of it, we'll then be able to re-engineer that workflow back to be able to bring order to the chaos of these things. And just to touch on a few of these aspects, change mechanism. This isn't a lecture on change mechanism before anyone gets nervous or agile. Change mechanism is is very, very variable based on business. It could be waterfall, it could be agile, it could be safe, it could be whatever it is, it could be hybrid. The main thing is that it's done and it's there, and you've got a mechanism to change. The amount of businesses I've been in, really big businesses that have a really poor change mechanism and adoption principle. And then when we put through technology, it's always a sticking point. It gets to a certain point, and then it can't move forward because that change hasn't been embedded and that culture hasn't been addressed. Without addressing the culture and the varying factors around that, it's very difficult to land a technology platform. It goes in, it's in, we pay for it, but we don't really derive the value out of the back of it, unless it's something very specific to technology, kind of service, middleware, that kind of thing. So that kind of touches on business adoption as well. The other aspect that certainly I've found over my career today is failure acceptance. The fact that technologists always like the most shiny thing, the newest and brightest and the best of breed platforms. It's not always the best scenario for a roadmap based on what that derived value needs to be. If we're chasing profitability and acquired growth, it doesn't have to be the best and brightest bit of the kit out there. It needs to be useful, and it needs to be fit for purpose, and it needs to be scalable to get that derived value. If it's legacy platforms that we can reuse or legacy bits of kit that can coexist within new technology, then great. It's all about that cost rationalization. It's all about that, what are we trying to drive out the back of that piece of technology? What does the end process look like? Getting to that stage will then be able to be re-engineered to deal with some of these things. The other big one on this that I'll call out is the unrecognized value. As we go through obviously the RFP cycles of new technology and embedding new kit, we only ever deal with the known knowns or the unknown knowns. Really understanding that roadmap and all the different factors of variable impacts will then bring out those unknown unknowns as we go through. And in engaging people and culture will bring that value out. The last one on this one then is the business innovation. The innovation is a pull and a push. So desired value is right in the middle there. The chaos of the business and the political and the social and all the accountability issues that we see through business life cycles are always going to be there. They're ever present. The business innovation is how you can then get the best out of that chaotic landscape and build that through into technology and legacy platforms. How we can derive the push-pull mechanisms of that derived value sets through the chaos and the elements on the left, and how we then push that into innovation strategy and innovation that builds out growth models, that builds out that next 3-year cycle of development and technology landscape, infrastructure transformations and development. Having that push and pull and the to and the from the business, from a technology perspective, certainly from my experience, has always been really, really beneficial. Being able to derive the business value, put that through into the requirements, to be able to then flex roadmaps, budget requirements, so on and so forth, to be able to get back to that triangle of acceptance, the cost efficiency with the greatest business value at the top. And then the last slide on this, because I don't want to talk too much, because this is just a huge subject really the whole day. But technology leaders lead. I know that's a funny thing to say, but it's true. Again, I've come across lots of very skilled individuals over the years that don't really be the shining light within business. Technology, in certainly my opinion, is the steadfast element of a business structure. It's there as a guardrail. It's there to say, yes, you can do this within these parameters, and we're going to build that derived value out within that set of parameters based on the roadmap. So we should be planning ahead with the vision, being mission critical, understanding the day-to-day requirement, but also understanding the next 3 to 5 year strategy, being able to bring that through into a roadmap succinctly. Being that guiding light through the chaos, again, if we're that single line that goes through roadmaps as technologists with the chaos that's around it, being able to then flex with the chaotic landscape will then bring through that derived value and always reshape. I mean, there's lots of ways that we do this in practice. If you're an agile business and shop, then agile and PI planning was always a really good idea, even if you're not an agile Shop, we can use those methodologies to bring that through. But it's all about that change culture, the communication, and really expanding those thoughts through the business. And then accept that we don't know everything. I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers, certainly. I've never met anyone that does have all the answers. It's all about that culture. It's understanding where the limitations of technology can sit, whether it be legacy or brand new. No brand new platform can give you 100% of your overall requirement. You always need bits and pieces pulled together, depending on obviously what the subject area is. And then take people on that journey. If the business don't believe in it, and as a technology function, we don't believe in it, in terms of what that process looks like, then it's never going to land. It could be a great platform that we embed, a great set of services that we embed. It could be service desk or whatever. But if that isn't understood properly in business in terms of organisational structure, then it's not going to land. I wanted to pause there. Just take a quick time check. Yeah, pause there. In terms of questions, thoughts, comments.